Um, the reason why I got interested in a little bit of scud fishing is I was in BC this fall and not used to fishing in those type of waters. Have to look around and see what's in there. So I noticed some scuds. And those seem to be fishable, so I tied up what I thought was something imitating the scud that was in the water. So what I'm going to tie is two different scuds tonight. A lot of people assume that a scud is circular, like this is a scud hook. What they say, scuds are usually in the curved figure when they're feeding or dead, I guess. Usually when they're swimming, they're in a straighter form. So I've tried a few different hooks. I found that depending on how thick you tie your fly, how heavy of a body it is, you don't want to crowd the point of the hook where the fish is going to get caught on. So, and you also want something that's got a pretty stiff wire, because the fish that I got into in BC were pretty big and kind of broke my line. I had 11-pound test on and away went my hooks. So anyway, the first one is going to... No, the tip, the leader actually broke. But, hey Ken, is this, can I see the screen? Oh, there. So this is kind of easy peasy. It's mimicking one of the scuds that I saw on the shore in BC. And I'm just using a white waxed, what the heck is it, 140 UTC thread. The reason why I'm using white is because you'll find out later what I use. Now, I had my secret weapon here for this fly is...
That works! Easy boy! Belly button fuzz.
Belly button fuzz.
I love it!
No, actually it's not belly button fuzz, but I figured I'd throw a little bit of comedy in there. What I found, I've tried Antron, and it's trying to get a little bit of sparkle in there, but I decided to try this sow bug and scud dubbing. I find it quite similar to deer hair, or not deer hair, rabbit fur. So I'm assuming that's what it's mostly made of. You want to be able to get some kind of little legs sticking out, because the scuds, the shrimp will have little legs. So you can blend it. I tried to get something quite white looking, not creamy, but I blended some Antron in here also just to give the lightness, because all I have in the sow scud is the tan. So it's a little bit, but it's not too bad. I'm also using Midge Flex, the 1/8 inch, because I'm using a number 10 Mustad R50. Usually I just use what I feel like using. So there you go, Christy. You can use whatever you want.
How come she can and I can't?
Well, we know you Dennis size everything, Dennis, so it's... Losing my fuzz. To stick it back in the belly button. So some people will clip the edge off. I found it works I've tried it without it. That works also. To make a bit of a V in the flex. And it's still water midge flex. So I take my thread back to the bend of the hook. Kind of hold the flex towards you and try and get it to stick just a light, and then you can turn it on, or just put it on there light wraps and then solidify it down. Pull it out and just sort of check to see that it's sort of even and not to one side. And like I say, these are easy peasy. Take your dubbing. You want to have this kind of coarse looking, but you don't want it to look out of place. Or not out of place, but my belly button fuzz keeps flying around here. If you tend to put too much on there, then it's sort of kind of gets to be a little bit of a fat area where you don't want it to be fat. And so you go back to, basically you're just building up your body. It's very easy. Trying to get it filled up.
Dan, is that a normal size hook you'd use?
Size 10, yeah. I mean, depending on the size of the shrimp, your size 12, your gape is a little bit getting small, but depending on the size of the fish that you're fishing too, I was scared when I heard these things splash. I knew I had 11 pounds, so I figured that would be enough, but and I'm sorry I can't tell you where these legs are because I'd have to kill you. So anyway, building up the body here. So one thing I found, some people will put a ribbing in to hold it in place, give it sort of the sections of the scud. But if you want an easy, most of us want an easy fly unless it's Paul Fit that likes to tie those realistics. But I just use the thread to do the ribbing. Just fold it over and tie it off.
So these scuds you were seeing were pretty well white?
These were white.
Wow.
And what happens is, I guess, depending on temperature of the water, what's there, because of BC with all the marl in the water, like it's a lot different than fishing here. Here we have a lot of weeds and brown sand, but in BC it's a lot of white marl, so it's that glacial till. So everything is. I'm sorry? What area? Well, this is the Radium Fairmont area.
Yeah, they tend to take on the color of the bottom.
And the age of I guess as they get older, I'm not sure how long they live, but if they get older, they get darker. Sometimes you'll see a red spot sort of in the middle. They say that those are the females that are pregnant. So basically that's the fly. Now we got to tie it off. So Christy was looking to see about how to tie off flies. You can use your fingers to do a half hitch and then just go like that. You can use a pen or one of these little doohickeys, do a half hitch And you can do it a couple times over and stick it on. Now, as Paul had not last time, a couple of weeks ago, he had a little Velcro on a popsicle stick. I think Michael Dell brought those out a couple of years ago. So basically you want to pull out the legs. And like I say, it's a easy peasy scud hook.
And do you use head cement?
Do I use hood cement? I tried using, I had some Sally Hansen with me, and I put it on my flies, and I was eager to get out fishing. I put my flies in my box, and when I was out in the water, went to pull out the flies, all I could smell was Sally Hansen. So I don't know if I want to use that anymore. I don't know if that had anything, like, I figured if I could smell it, the fish might be able to smell it. So a lot of times, sometimes depending on the hook. But anyway, it's pretty easy. And I had some.
You think that using the hardest nails, yeah, stops the fish from biting? Because I use it all the time.
I don't know what it was, if it's old stuff or whatever, but
Yeah,
every time even now if I open up that box, I'll smell it.
Because I've never had a problem with it.
So how do you fish those, Dan?
How do I fish them? Well, scuds are usually, and this is another thing I found out, that they are in deeper water, up to 15 feet. Generally fishing towards shore, you're casting towards shore and pulling it in slowly. It's almost like chironomid fishing. If you're using an intermediate line, you want to just cast out, let it sink, and then just strip it in, because usually the scuds are closer to the bottom, and you can see where the fish have been sort of mucking up in the marl. They're digging up the scuds and the bloodworms. But I personally don't like chironomid fishing, so I kick, but I kick slowly. And when those suckers hit these things, it was phenomenal.